Hey everybody, I'm Randy Mann, and this is How Do You Hot Rod. Alright folks, this week we're out at Stateline Speedway at Stateline, Idaho for an all-racing How Do You Hot Rod episode. Check this out. Alright guys, thanks for coming out today. Now, this is, what was it again? Hakusei?
Hakusei Drift means
Hakusei
Northwest Drift in Japanese.
Okay, and who came up with that one, or where'd you guys get it from?
Collaboration of all five of us. There was five of us here that night that we came up with it.
And go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I'm Donnie Pomeranke.
Donnie.
I'm Ian Schneck.
Ian.
Chaz Pomeranke.
Chaz.
Bodie Weinbarger.
Bodie. Thank you guys for coming. So, what can you tell me about your cars? Let's start with this one right here. What do we have?
That's an 06 Nissan 350Z. It's a VQ V6, about 300 horse tuned.
Okay.
Other than that, it's pretty stock. It has the manual in it,
All right.
6-speed.
How long have you had the car?
This is the second season.
Second season.
Yep.
Okay. And have you been racing drift or doing drift prior to that?
About a year before that. I got into it because of my son Chaz.
right.
Chaz and Phil Pettinger are actually one of the oldest ones on our team that's been drifting. And then Austin Adair, which you'll meet later.
Okay.
He was with the group too. They just got into it and it looked fun. I've done a lot of circle track and stuff like that, and drag racing and motorcycle racing and things like that. And it just looked fun. It looked like it was just a good old time.
And are there any sponsors that you guys have that you'd like to say?
Kina Customs, I'd like to do a shout out to him. Jake Nelson was part of the team. He's just not a driver right now.
And what about the other two cars we got here? What do we have there?
We have a 93 240 coupe. It just got a roll cage in it. Has the original KA motor in it. The
E36.
Okay. All right. And then in front of it?
The front one's a 1990 240SX hatchback. It's got JDM SR20. Fully stock internals except upgraded head gasket, ARP studs. I went on standalone management from Speedy at 5 with 740cc D-Works injectors, a custom top mount manifold, a Garrett 2871R turbo with modded T3 exhaust housing, tuned by yours truly, Chaz Pomeranke.
All right.
Also sitting with full cage done by Chaz Pomeranke, fabricated last year, sitting on ISR Pro coilovers and ISR Pro Series studs.
And that's your car?
Yes.
All right. How long have you been racing it?
I've been driving that car for the last three and a half years. I picked that car out actually for the motor to put into my 1986 Toyota Corolla.
Oh.
But then when I had found out about it, I was told it was wrecked. And then upon sight on scene, it wasn't wrecked. And then I kind of fell in love with the car. And taking the motor out of such a perfect chassis, it wasn't worth it anymore.
And look what you got to do with it now, right?
I had heard about coming out here, and I had finally got like a car that could potentially do it. Met up with these dudes, and we've been good friends ever since.
1983 Toyota Cressida, basically almost a full tube car at this point. S13 rear subframe, S13 front suspension, custom coilovers, full ground up build basically. powered by a 1J and a CD09 out of a 350Z or G35. Pretty.
A lot of fun.
Pretty spicy.
That one is running.
All right. And have you guys won any awards, trophies?
Nope, we don't do this for trophies.
Yeah,
we don't
no,
do it
this
for
is
awards.
more of just like our fun. This is our passion, man. If you go out to one of any of the events, you'd find out that this community, the drift community especially, it's phenomenal. The amount of people that you meet, how humble almost everyone of the drivers are. It's just, you leave every drift event with a better experience than anything else.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, once again, thank you for coming out today. And one question I ask everybody is, how do you hot rod?
For me, like a hot rod is dang near any car that you got a passion for, that you could hop in, turn the key, and just let her eat, and just smiles per mile, man.
All right.
Smiles per mile.
You?
It's all about the fun. It's about being behind the wheel, letting her eat.
All right. How do you hot rod?
Just for fun, being with friends in the community.
Just shredding tires.
There we go.
Shredding tires and having a blast.
Well, Bruce, thank you for coming out today with your Nostalgia Modified.
Nostalgia Modified,
All right. What can you
also
tell me?
known as Vintage Modified.
Okay.
There's a class that travels around. It's called the Vintage Modifieds that this car also runs in. 37 Ford sedan body, left-hander chassis. Originally it was a modern day modified, and the gentleman that I got it from pulled that body off it and put this vintage body on it. Got a 350 Chevrolet, been bored out, running about 450, 500 horsepower.
Pretty decent.
This is kind of a new experience for me. I'm used to running, I started out back in the early 80s in a little mini stock, little Chevy Monza mini stock, and then graduated up to a Chevy Camaro in a street stock class, and then kind of took a hiatus for a little while, and then I decided, you know what, I wanted one of these modifieds for a long time, so here it is.
Nice. And have you always been racing, or was it just something you kind of got into and then it progressed and kept going?
Well, it started out, my dad, before I was ever born, he drove a midget, and so it's kind of in my blood. And then my brothers, they were into racing. They were with a couple different teams. They were pit crew members and stuff on it, and none of them other than my dad actually ever ran the cars. So it was just, for me, it was like, you know what, I'm going to carry on that family tradition.
That's pretty nice.
So, but yeah, I've grown up racing, grown up at the tracks and stuff, and ever since I was just a little guy, watching these. Back in the day, what they call a B modified, which is basically the same car as this, a little bit different. They ran V8s and they had the vintage bodies, but chassis were nothing like these. They had the old straight axle front ends on them, but that's what really gave me my love for the modifieds and my love for racing.
Nice. The body, pretty easy to remove?
Yeah, not too bad. Pull off your Nerf bars, obviously, and then there's just some rivets basically holding it on. Not really a whole lot holding it on.
So there's really not a whole lot of the old car, just the body, which is still a steel body, correct?
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And any plans in the future for this?
Just gonna go out and have some fun with it.
All right. Well, how did you do this year so far? You said you had the one race.
Actually, sad enough, I wasn't able to run the race. I had to put my crew chief in the car because our race was July 18th here, and on June 30th, I actually messed up going down a set of stairs and broke my ankle. So I wasn't able to get in the car on a race day. So I was like, you know what? Get in there, crew chief. You're going to drive it.
So you haven't actually gotten to race the car yet?
Not yet, no.
Oh, man.
No, this is actually the first time I've actually had the car on the track myself. So
wow.
I'm just floating on air right now.
So one question I ask everybody, we talked about how the term hot rod has been changing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
In your opinion, how do you hot rod?
Right here. I before this car, I had a beautiful 86 Chevy Corvette convertible that I drove around, and that was all great and fun. It just wasn't the same,
Yeah.
And I tend to have a little bit of a lead foot, so it's like, you know what, I'm going to get myself in trouble with this thing. You need to get a race car again where you can get back on the track and do your racing on the track where it's safe. You know, I've got all of my safety equipment, roll cage. You know, not that I couldn't still get hurt, but I got a lot less of a chance in this than I do street racing or something like that. So, not to mention the money from the, you know, from the fines and that kind of stuff. No thanks.
And in this controlled environment, you can go as fast as you can and have fun doing it and not have to worry about those fines.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, Bruce, thank you again for bringing this out. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
You as well.
All right, Tom, thank you for coming out today. You brought your Alfa. What was the proper name for it again?
Alfa Romeo, Giulia Quadrifoglio.
That's a mouthful.
Wide body.
Wide body. Now, who did the wide body kit?
Josh Shields, purveyor of speed, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Okay. This is
old
definitely
school
different.
metal.
Wow.
Bent, handmade.
Wow, he did a really good job. I like this.
Yes, he did.
So,
excellent.
How long have you had your car?
I've had this for almost 4 years.
Okay. And have you been racing it the whole time or just recently?
No. The day I bought it, the stock tires were bald.
What class or what classification do you race in?
This is a track car.
A track car?
It does time attacks, occasional autocross.
Okay.
Mostly it's track.
All right.
Which means you have a clock timer and you go for the fastest time.
Okay. What's the furthest track you've gone to from up here in Spokane?
Oh, probably Fontana.
Fontana?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, most recently, where were you at racing?
Auto club. 14-degree bank turns.
Wow. All right, Tom, what else can you tell me about the car? Like engine-wise, any modifications? Have you done anything there?
It has a high flow cat downpipe, Remus exhaust, camber kits, ECU tune. That's about it. It's already powerful.
How much horsepower does it have?
Probably 575 at the crank.
Wow. And torque?
Maybe 500, maybe.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And what are your future plans with it?
Well, I've tracked it so much and I've gone so fast that I'm actually going to kind of retire it from tracking as hard as I used to, because production cars, when you push them to the level I'm at now, it's just not really good for them.
Okay.
You're just really, especially with wider tires, you know, there's more G-forces and everything. You need to dry sump and all kinds of stuff to really do that. But I've done a 130 flat at Spokane County Raceway, which is very fast. For production sedan on, on street tires.
So you'll be on the Gold Rush Rally, if I understand right, here in about a week?
Yes, GR20. We did it before, about 3 years ago, and we stopped at the Thai Bamboo restaurant in North Division and closed down Division Street. There's like 10,000 people showed up. It was amazing.
I was
$25,000 worth of $25 million worth of super and hypercars there.
I've never seen something like that. That was insane.
We're doing it again, Randy.
Ooh boy.
September 25th. September 25th, Friday, from about 5:30 till 8:30, just 3 hours.
In Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
In Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, at the Thai Bamboo Restaurant.
All right.
On 4th Avenue, 2010 North 4th Street, right across from Dave Smith Motors there. I'm actually partnering with Dave Smith Maserati, so some of the cars will be in their parking lot too.
Okay.
There'll be some food booths outside, there'll be some free giveaways and stuff, and there'll be the cars, or people can look at them. The drivers open them up so the kids can go inside and stuff and take pictures. It's family friendly, fun.
Man, that sounds amazing.
And every gearhead in town will be here that's anybody, so be there.
I will. Very nice. Yeah. Well, thank you once again for bringing it out. I'll see you in about a week at the Gold Rush Rally.
Yeah.
Jarrett, Levi, thank you guys for bringing your cars out today. So, demo derby cars, correct?
Bump to pass.
Bump to pass?
Roller derby. Basically, it's the Jeep version of bump to pass.
Okay. Now, what can you tell me about that? How long you been racing this and or in that class?
This year's my first year actually doing the roller derby class. This has gone through 2 race nights, but 4 races. So, and it's held up a lot better than I thought it was going to with a blown head gasket.
Oh wow! Yeah, most of the Subarus seem to get those, I notice. And then you do bump to pass, you said?
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that with this car?
This will be my 3rd year for this car. The car itself has been around since around 97.
Okay.
3rd person to race it. I don't know who originally built the car, but I picked it up a few years ago, put a motor in it, and just got out here. So I've been doing this about 3 years.
Okay. Now, what's the year, make, and model on it?
This is a 1970 Chevy Caprice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what year was your Subaru?
It's like a 2004 Subi.
Okay.
Outback. Not really sure. Picked it up for $300, so.
I picked this one up for $400.
So with the roller derby, what do you do there? Explain what it is.
Basically, it's like a normal race, just we're allowed to spin everyone out. It's a free-for-all. It gets a little hectic.
Sounds like fun, actually.
Yeah, it's a blast.
It's a lot of fun.
Bump to pass, pretty simple.
Yep. Go around, spin the person out in front of you. You're required to make contact to go around them. If not, it's not put on the show. We're here to see the sparks, the flames, the wrecks. We're here for it all.
So you ain't going for a top speed or the fastest lap. You guys are going out to have some fun, hit some things, and
we make
take a little aggression out?
Yeah, we make our cars go fast in case we need it, but we try not to use it.
All right. And do you have any plans for this? Future?
October 3rd is our next roller derby.
Okay. Here at Stateline, or where at?
Yeah, here with Stateline with the monster trucks.
Okay.
Then I'm hoping to launch this thing at the end of the night off of a jump.
Speaking of launching things, you've got one here that says jump your junk. Tell me how you got that.
I took like a mid-90s Jeep and launched it, probably 50 feet.
Oh, wow. How fast were you going when you hit the launch?
I think that we figured about 60.
And how'd the end of it go?
It wasn't too bad because the seat was already broken in the Jeep. So when I saw how hard I was going to land, I just curled up in a ball and just rode the...
Didn't steer out of it or anything?
Nope.
Did you roll it?
Nope.
No? Kept it on 04?
I thought I was going to.
I'd say surprisingly, you were up there.
Now, have you guys known each other for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. About how long?
3 years? 3 or 4
years.
Any chance you're going to get a bigger car and step up and go after him?
Next year.
Next year? All right.
He's going to step up, but he's going to spin around.
Have you gotten any trophies or awards with yours?
I have. Not going to lie. This is Levi's trophy. I wasn't aware to bring my own trophy.
We'll put this over here where it belongs then.
No, I do have a few trophies. The last boat race we had, I won. And
now, you said boat race.
Yes.
Now, for those that don't understand what a boat race is, explain that.
So what we do is we take old boats that are no longer able to float on the water. Okay. So they've taken damage or they're just too old and people don't want them.
They're not old like Chris Pratt.
No, we've had old. We've had one full wooden boat come out. Most of them aren't that old because they are worth money nowadays, but we've had some. But what we do is we strip all the interior, all the metal, all the glass and stuff out of them. Okay. We punch 2 holes through the side of it, run a chain through it, put some rubber tires around it so it helps from the chain pulling through. No trailers are allowed. We drag them around with our cars and we go out and beat them up with our cars.
With these?
Yep. I have actually taken this car airborne twice now off of boats.
That's something else. I'm gonna have to check that out.
It's fun. Our next one is September 26th.
September 26th. That's in a couple weeks.
Yep.
All right. And then, anything crazy with this? Besides launch, you're gonna launch this one?
I plan to if it survives, but depending on if I'm here for the boat race, this might get hooked up to a boat and see how much fun I can have.
That'd be a lot of fun. And when they do the boat race, are there certain cars you can use, can't use?
If it runs and drives, hook up to a boat and go.
Wow. So,
you're required to have a safety bar across the driver's door.
I saw you have one there. You got one put on here. Very nice. All right.
I got a little more bars hiding in this one though.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for bringing these out. Jared, Levi.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Blaine, thanks for coming out today.
Oh, thank you.
We have an Ultra 4 Jeep, if I understand right.
Correct.
All right. What can you tell me about it?
It's an Ultra 4, 4500 class, so stock mod. we're limited to our tires. We can have 37-inch tire or smaller, and 2 shocks per corner as long as they're 14-inch travel or less. Otherwise, I think we're pretty open, unlimited as to motor, transmission, drivetrain, differentials, all that. We're pretty unlimited.
And what do you have for an engine?
The motor is a warmed up LS2, so 4340 everything, big cam. It's probably 600 horse at the flywheel, maybe a little more.
Transmission wise, what you running there?
I have a transmission done by Randy's Racing Transmissions here in Spokane, and then the converter is from A1 Performance out of Vancouver, Washington. Both of them flawless. And then the transfer case is an Atlas race case from Advanced Adapters. And the drive lines, I make the drive lines myself out of DOM and Spicer parts. They're 1350 U-joints. And then the front and rear axle housings are trail gear. I have trail gear knuckles on the front as well. And then all Yukon stuff inside with Grizzly lockers.
You got a few sponsors. I saw Yukon Gear and Axle.
Yeah. Rugged Radios does all of our intercoms and race radios. And I can be clear across the valley and still get out really well. Radflow does the shocks. They've been awesome. Rough Stuff does all the hind joints, and as you can see, they're the smaller ones. You can build the car light, you don't have to overbuild it, and we've never had any hind failures.
That's good.
Lifetime LED does our lights.
I noticed you got the blues on in there. That's pretty.
We turn on our dash lights or cab lights, and then if I'm racing at night, I also put another light bar up here, and then one down on the front grill too.
Okay.
So we got lots of light. You'd be amazed how much light you don't have when you're doing 100 miles an hour across the desert.
Now, who's on your left shoulder there?
Oh,
sleeve.
sorry. We got Yukon Gear and Axle in one of their King of the Hammer shirts.
Okay. King of the Hammer.
Yeah.
All right.
And then PRP takes care of all of our safety. So nets, belts, 5-point harness, and suspension seats. Some guys like the hard ones, but I'm sold on the suspension. Have maxes for the tires, and as you can tell, I don't use a spare, so flats are pretty much non-existent. Use Dynomax for the exhaust, which if you've heard the car, there's not much of exhaust on it. It's kind of loud.
It is pretty loud, that's for sure. Now it's street legal, you were saying?
Yeah, it's completely street legal. It's registered and insured in Washington as a 46 wheelies, CJ2. So I can drive it on the street. It's got permanent registration.
Oh wow!
You know,
I did see the old license plate on the back there.
Yeah.
That was pretty neat.
I picked that off of eBay, actually, because the Jeep that I got it from, got the VIN tag from, didn't actually have plates because it was our ranch rig, and it was the same rig that I learned how to drive when I was little. So my grandfather died, and then my dad knew what I was doing, so he let me use it. So the only thing that's left over from that is the hood, but the cowl is the original Willys cowl. It's just aftermarket.
All right. Now, how long have you been racing, Wayne?
Well, I grew up helping my dad. He used to circle track race. I grew up helping him in the shop, and then I started drag racing on pavement. And then for some reason, I started doing drag racing on water. And then that led to rock crawling. I bought a Rubicon, so then I started rock crawling. Got that bug and put all 1-tons and LS walk in that. And then I started racing this, and it's just kind of been a progression.
Nice. Any races coming up soon?
Future plans, just win more races. Pretty much every race I've been in, I've ended up on the podium, and I'd like to keep that. On September 26th, we're going to Mountain Home, Idaho. We were invited in for the Idaho Top Truck Challenge, so that'll be our first year for that. So looking forward to having fun there.
Wayne, thank you very much for coming out today. I appreciate the time, and enjoy this thing.
All right, thank you.
Do you have your license yet?
Yes.
All right, guys, thanks for coming out today. Jason, this is yours, right?
Yep.
And these are your parents, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me who we got here.
We have my mom, my dad, and my brother Jacob.
All right. And that's Jay and Danielle. Thank you guys for coming out today. Jason, can you tell me about your dragster?
Yeah. We saw it on Craigslist, so I've always wanted one basically.
Okay.
So I really wanted it, so we got it, and our friend Lonnie did all the paintwork on it,
Very nice.
which is really nice. He does a really good job with it all. So
And that's Lonnie Stradley's?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
Monster.
Yep.
Yep, he did all the lettering on it. The paint job was already there, so he just did the lettering for us.
Very nice. He
Yeah.
does a great job. I've seen some of his other
Oh, yeah,
work.
he's amazing.
All right. So, Jason, how long have you been racing this?
Since
5
June.
months?
Yeah, 5 months since
4 or 5
June.
months?
That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Wow. And have you done any racing before this one?
what?
Have you raced anything before this?
No.
No? Wow. You've even gotten some trophies, I see. Very nice. Where'd you get these ones at? Oh, at Spokane County Raceway, it looks like?
Yeah.
Okay. We have Junior Dragster winner at Summit number 3. Another Junior Dragster winner at Summit number 7.
Which number 7 was the last points race, and
And then the top 2 were Summit 1 and 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
from this year.
Now, with the Junior Dragster class, what kind of engine do you run?
it starts as a 5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton ride-on motor.
Oh,
So,
and then you guys do a little work to it, I'm assuming?
Yeah. Pretty much rebuild it completely. It goes to a billet block,
Wow.
and then it's probably making anywhere between 20 and 25 horsepower now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice.
How fast have you gone?
my fastest is 11:30, I think, in the 8th mile. 11:30.
At what mile an hour?
Around 58.
Yeah.
Yeah, 58.
58 miles an hour in the 8th mile.
At 8 years old.
Yeah.
Do you have your license yet?
Yes.
Oh,
He has his HRA
yeah.
license.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Well, very nice. Anything else you want to tell me about your car?
What kind of fuel does it run on?
E98.
Yes. Runs on ethanol from the Thunderbolt
Okay.
racing fuel.
Very nice. And you have a couple sponsors?
Wild Automotive and Raceway.
All right.
And then Miss Shifters.
The Miss Shifters, they're all over the place, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have OJ.
The announcer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
The announcer of the race.
And then who sponsored your fuel for you?
Thunderbolt and Weaver Family Racing.
There you
Very
go.
nice.
Yep.
And then Fuller Family Racing.
Yeah,
which
that's
is-
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what are you going to do next year?
Race it again.
Yeah. When do you have another class you'll move into soon, or how's that work?
No, that's when I'm 10.
When you're
I
10?
can go faster.
Yeah.
Okay.
10, they break it down by age groups. So
Okay.
8 and 9, he's limited to 12 seconds in the 8th mile. At 10, he can go to 9 seconds.
Wow.
And then at 13, they can go to 8 seconds.
That's pretty neat.
And those ones are going about 80, 85 in the 8th mile. They're a little bit quicker.
I'll say.
A little bit.
Well, why did you want to start racing?
Well, drag racing is basically has grown in our family basically. So I just wanted to help make it grow more basically, and it's really fun, and I just wanted to start doing it for myself.
Nice. Well, Jason, thank you for coming out today and bringing your family along with you. You drove out here, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
they drove.
we came.
All right. Thank you very much for coming out today. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
All right, Justin and Kelly, thank you for coming out today. We have Outboard hydroplanes, correct?
Yep.
All right. Now, what can you tell me about this one here?
So this, it's a 2000 built Darnell race boat out of Grants Pass, Oregon. It's an 850cc modified class.
Okay.
We're running a 70 horse Evinrude on the back that's been modified. Boats can do over 100 miles an hour.
Wow. And yours also?
Mine as well.
Okay. Same class and everything?
Same class. This is my first year this year, so it was going a little slower, but hopefully next year I can step up and kick his butt.
Now, you guys recently raced against each other, if I understood right.
Yes, this last Saturday.
Who won?
He did, but he did let me kind of come across the finish line on that second race just for fun. But
So points wise, we actually tied for the weekend, but I had ignition issues and she passed me right on the front stretch.
Okay.
On the last lap.
Okay. Little gentleman help out there.
Yeah.
I really just wanted to beat him fair and square, but it was.
All right. And what else can you tell me about these? We don't see them that often, so is there a large class, a large racing community for them?
There is. There's several different governing bodies. There's American Outboard Federation, which we are part of. There's APBA, which is American Powerboat Association, which is probably the largest. They do all the offshore races. Any kind of powerboat racing, APBA is part of. And then there's the NBRA, which is National Boat Racing Association. There's clubs nationwide. We're a smaller club, the Stateline Outboard Racing Association. This year, due to COVID, a lot of races have been canceled, so we've had a lot of people from the Seattle Outboard Association coming to race with us. It's a fairly large community. Most of us know each other all across the country. If we need parts or something like that, somebody's usually there to step up and help us. But it's generally not a very well-known form of racing, and so anytime we get the ability to get the boats out and let people see what we do.
I appreciate you guys bringing them out. When's the next race, or where are you guys going next?
So this year our season's over, so we're done for the season. But our first race is typically Memorial Day weekend.
Okay.
We do that down in Elk River, Idaho. We race right on the reservoir down there.
Nice.
And then we'll go through Banks Lake throughout the summer next year, Newport, Ione, Banks Lake. So it's kind of different locations.
Nice.
Throughout eastern Washington, Idaho.
Okay. And you mentioned your son also races one?
Yes.
Now, what class is that one? Is there...
So he races Y80 Hydro. He's running, it's a 2-cylinder purpose-built racing engine built in Japan. The racing in Japan is set up like we do horse races over here. They have arena, betting windows. So they'll run the engines. They'll run the engines for a couple years, and we import them. But it's a 2-cylinder, 25 cubic inch, 33 horse, 2-stroke. The boat is capable of 60 plus miles an hour. We usually restrict him down to run around 50 to 55 because he is only 14. So we cut him down a little bit. He's been racing. This was his fourth year. So
pretty nice.
Yeah, it's fun. It's it's a good family sport.
Sounds like it. Now, do you guys have some sponsors you'd like to say anything about?
So I'm sponsored by Vixen Industries, which is owned by Becky McDonough, who drives the El Toro logo monster truck.
With the horns.
Oh, the horns, yeah.
All right.
And then both the wife and I are factory supported racers with Power Mist Racing Fuels out of New Jersey. So yeah, they help us out a little bit. That's about it.
If it weren't for sponsors, some of us wouldn't be able to do certain things, right?
I mean, most of the funding out of these is is our own pocketbook and everything else. But as long as we keep motors together, I mean, just put gas in them.
Nice.
Regular maintenance, and they're pretty good. The mods can get expensive because we're using an engine that wasn't designed for this and pushing it to its limits. I mean, that's racing in a nutshell, I guess.
Hey, you said it was basically a 1977 Evinrude?
Yeah, Evinrude.
Wow.
70 horse.
To go from then to this?
I mean, just the same engine Grandpa had on the back of his fishing boat. So.
And do you guys still run them on regular pump gas, or?
No, these ones, because of the compression, the 110 octane. You like VPC12 with the Sunoco 110. That minimum is the app gas.
Okay.
So if I ran pump gas in these, we'd probably pump pistons.
Yeah. All right. Well, Justin, Kelly, thank you guys very much for bringing these out today and showing them off.
No problem.
Not very often we get to see them.
The pleasure's ours.
All right. You guys have a great day.
Thank you as well.
All right, Josh. Thanks for bringing your bike out today. Now, this is a Suzuki Hayabusa, correct?
Yes, it is.
What can you tell me about it?
It's a really heavy bike. It's very fast. The fastest production bike Suzuki makes right now, and what they did make.
Now, what was on the back there? I saw it was a GSX 1300?
Yeah, that's the size of the engine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not a bike guy, so as much as you can tell me about it, go for it.
Oh, so Hayabusa, it's Japanese for a Peregrine Falcon. That's why it's designed the best aerodynamic bike on the market right now. So you can get down there, and it's made to go through wind very fast. That's why I got it. And it's very fast on the drag strip.
How fast have you gone on the drag strip?
On the drag strip, about 144 miles per hour and a quarter mile.
That's moving.
Yes, that was my second time out on the drag strip. So.
Now, you've won an award or two, I'm guessing?
Oh, just one award.
Just one?
Yeah, so I usually go out there for just the amateur hour, test and tune.
Okay. And you got the plaque here, so that's the award you won?
That's my first one on this bike, second time drag racing that. So.
Very nice.
Yeah.
That's out at Spokane County Raceway, motorcycle shootout, first place. Good job.
Yeah, I got lucky ducky.
Now, moving up a little bit here on the fender, I see it says Colton Lauterbach. What can you tell me about the memorial here?
Oh, well, every year, every summer, around August, I believe, we remember our fallen veteran that crashed out up north. He was a young kid, straight out of the Air Force. Well, he's still in the Air Force at the time. He came out the corner really hot and went off the embankment. And that was the end of that story. It was a very sad situation.
Well, it's nice seeing a memorial here, especially for the military.
Yeah, I love my military. So.
Now, you have quite the helmet here. Now, I see a little military theme there, I'm guessing.
Oh, yes.
What can you point out here and tell me about?
Oh, well, when I got this helmet, I was looking for a racing helmet.
Okay.
It has to be snow approved. It's the #1 helmet they had when I bought this. And I saw the design here. I saw the old school, fighter patch, little model on the side there.
Kind of a pin-up style.
Yeah. And it had the old Air Force theme. I'm an Air Force military brat, I guess you want to say. I grew up in the military. And I saw it. I fell in love with it, and so it's the only one I've ever seen anybody out here have. So,
is there any future plans with the bike to maybe have it wrapped to match the helmet, or vice versa?
Probably a helmet to match the bike. I love this blood orange color. I fell in love with this. My dream bike.
It is very nice. I like that.
Maybe someday I'll get a matching suit and all that cool stuff. It's going to take a little bit more trips down the drag strip to get to that level.
Maybe get some sponsors.
Yeah, in the future. Hopefully next year. Yeah.
Now, how long have you been racing?
I've been racing pretty much all my life. Just amateur, testing tune stuff. Nothing spectacular. I go on the street, and
always bikes, or have you done cars?
Always bikes.
Always bikes. Okay.
Huge bike.
Now, what got you into bikes?
This video game when I was younger, growing up, Sega Genesis. It's called Road Rash.
Yep.
Yeah, that's I fell in love with it. PlayStation came out, I got the Road Rash game, and then it had all these cutscenes and stuff, all these trash bikes and stuff. When you won, you had a hot pinup girl come over and greet you and stuff. When you lose, she kick you off your bike. So all those cutscenes that made me fall in love with motorcycles, everything about them, road racing and stuff. Then I started watching road racing, and I was like, oh my goodness, these guys are amazing, going around those corners like that. And I was like it's something I want.
Knee almost on the ground, the bike almost flat. It looks like.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's the adrenaline rush. Just thinking about back in my childhood. Just wow, look where I'm at right now.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to say on the bike?
It has a few upgrades to it. It has a Power Commander 5. It's electronical, like a fuel injection. It messes around with all that stuff.
Okay. Like engine management type stuff?
Yeah. And gives you a little bit more power out of your bike. Of course, a computer tune to match that, so you can go down and go really faster.
Now,
stop.
How much horsepower do these put out, or yours? Have you had it tested?
I am not really familiar on the horsepower specs. All that paperwork's in file right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say they're about the same as your normal leader bikes in horsepower wise. The newest leader bike R1s and your Suzuki 1000Rs. They're about the same horsepower, believe it or not. This one has just a little bit more power in the top end to catch up to them.
Nice. All right. Now, do you have future plans besides we were talking about the helmet? Do you have any future plans for the bike? Any races coming up soon that you?
Yes, actually, this Friday we have another shootout, and there's some money on the line, some big trophies. The last shootout of the year, and I'm going up against all stock class motorcycles, just like mine.
Okay.
And hopefully eat them up.
Very nice. Well, good luck, and thank you for bringing this bike out today, Josh.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. This is a pleasure.
Donna, thank you for coming out today with the Triumph. If I understand right, your bike's down?
Yes, I had my clutch is burnt this year.
And so you brought your husband's bike, which
correct.
is nearly the same?
It's the same year, the same model, and actually it's got some of my parts on it.
Oh, okay. So what do we have here? Triumph?
This is a Triumph, 2005 Triumph Rocket 3.
Okay.
It's 2,300 cc's, 140 cubic inches.
Wow. And so with yours, you've raced it for a while, correct?
Yeah, I've been racing since 2018.
Nice. And is it, how fast do you go in the quarter mile?
My personal best is 11.21 for my ET, and I've been like 123 miles an hour.
That's moving pretty good. What can you tell me about your husband's bike here today?
This is his bike that he's created. It wasn't a race bike at all, but in a pinch, it became one.
Now, you said some of your parts are on here.
Some of my parts, we've replaced the shocks in my seat, the hand grips, the foot pegs, the shifter to make it more similar to mine.
Okay. And what do you plan on doing next year with your bike?
Well, I'm hoping to buy a turbocharged Hayabusa and start racing.
Oh boy. What got you into racing?
Well, I came out in 2018, my first race, to see what my bike would do without getting a ticket on off-road. So I just came to the track and thought I would try it, and I ended up beating the last year's champion. And I thought it was so much fun, I came back and I've been winning since.
Do you have any sponsors?
Empire Cycle is my sponsor.
Okay. And you said next year you're looking at a turbocharged Hayabusa?
It would be my dream bike right now.
And so what are you going to do with yours?
I plan on keeping it and just using it for road to and from work, whatever.
All right. Well, Donna, thank you very much for coming out today with Triumph. I appreciate your time. All right, Russ, thank you for coming out today.
You're welcome.
This is your girlfriend's Miata, if I understand right.
Correct, yeah.
Kristen was busy today, you say?
Yep, she had to work, so both of us have autocrossed this, but mostly it's been her this year autocrossing this car.
Okay, so what year is it?
It's a 99
Miata?
99 Miata, so it's an NB chassis.
Pretty much stock?
It is stock. We race it in E Street. That's an SCCA class.
Okay.
Street class is the lowest of the classes. Very little modifications. We've done literally just a front sway bar to it, and then we have dedicated race tires, which are RE71s, 200 treadwear on some factory rims.
Okay.
And then, there are some other things that we have options to do. Suspension-wise, single adjustable shocks, bump stops, and we can do a muffler, and that's about it.
Okay. Is it more for, can you say maybe a beginner, that class?
I wouldn't say beginner, because a lot of people who are a lot of experience stay in that class. I mean, I've been in that class since 2007.
Okay.
And it's more about driver reward than rewarding driver skill as opposed to heavily modified car.
Okay, makes sense. Now, I see a couple trophies.
Yep. This trophy is Kristen's from Autocross, which is the fun event at the end of the year on the road course from 2 years ago in 2018. That was actually the first event that we had bought this car, and we both drove it at that event, and that was her first time driving this car and her first time on Spokane County Raceway.
Nice.
And then this is my season trophy from last year for the for the street class. They lump a couple of them together so that they have more participants per class.
Okay.
Then they have a PAX index, which is handicap index, so that everything's equal.
All right.
And then we don't have the third trophy. Kristen just finished. The point season just ended this past weekend, and Kristen earned a third place trophy in ladies PAX.
Oh wow.
So, and that was this past weekend, and it was a battle literally to the last run of the day.
Huh.
On the last day for second and third place, and I think it finished within 4 points. It had to have been within 4 or 5 points.
Wow.
So,
any future plans for the Miata?
Well, we just put the roll bar in. I did that Friday night, literally, and we're going to keep it E Street. We're doing the Maryhill Hill Climb next weekend, and then she's going to start doing some track days with it, and then I've kind of focused on the road racing this year, so that's why I haven't autocrossed, but maybe possibly get her kids into autocrossing. We don't know. That was kind of the idea, keeping it stock.
All right. Any sponsors that you'd like to talk about?
Well, most of it's contingencies, like Advanced Auto Fabrication. Okay. The only real sponsor we have is West Plains Liberty Tire and Auto Repair out of Airway Heights.
Yeah.
They mount and balance our race tires for us. And then I have a charity on here, Wiggling Home Boxer Rescue.
Okay.
So, but then everything else is contingency. So,
all right.
Which everybody has it, and they're required decals. And if you are successful, then they give you a kickback.
Very nice.
So,
all right, Russ. Thank you very much for bringing this out today.
Thank you.
Tell Kristen thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. So, Angie, Randy, thank you guys very much for coming out today. We have the Bronze Star, right?
Thanks for having us, yeah.
What can you tell me about it?
Well, it's a 2015 Corvette Z06. It was advertised at 650 horsepower. And
That's what sold me.
650 foot-pounds of torque. Stock. So, well, that's what sold us on it. We bought it, and Chevrolet didn't even know how much it cost or whatever. We just went down and paid money down on one.
Oh.
So we got the only allocation that this one dealership in Spokane had. And the next month we had it out on the road course. We both dual drove it. Drove the shit out of it.
All right. Now, what have you guys done for modifications on it? Since you do race it quite a bit.
Yeah, it has 900 quarter-mile passes.
Wow.
901, but the last one wasn't very hard on it. It was a photo op.
It was just a photo op.
But it has pulleys, upper and lower pulleys, supported blower, nitrous, E85.
Now, they're one of your sponsors, correct?
Yep, Thunderbolt, Pure Power, E85. And it has a heat exchanger tank for the intercooler and a cold air intake, but stock motor, pretty much.
And then you do have a roll cage in there.
10-point roll cage, yeah.
Certified to 850 by NHRA.
Very nice. How fast has it ran in a quarter mile?
Well, it's gone 10-12 at 144 with nitrous, and 10-21 at 141 without. It spins a lot, so we haven't really got it. Should be 9s with the numbers, but it ain't happening.
Now, you guys do some road course with it?
We haven't the last couple years. We haven't raced it at all the last couple years because we're on the 6 transmission, but it's a blast out there. Yeah, we take it out there and open it up sometimes.
We've had it at autocross and on the road course.
Okay. And you've had some transmission issues I've seen. You just said the 6th transmission already. What exactly keeps going on there? Is it a flaw in the transmission?
Partly it's 844 foot-pounds of torque, but
the same thing happens to all of them. The friction discs.
Yep.
They just shave off the sandpaper, goes in to the pan, goes into the filter, and the car don't run anymore.
Well, the car runs, but it don't move.
Yeah, it doesn't go anywhere.
Starves for fluid.
Yeah.
The Chevrolet changed the first one out of the goodness of their heart. Not that we had a warranty anymore. If you race for time, money, or points, you have no warranty.
Uh-oh.
No warranty, guys. We don't race the truck. We don't mod the truck. It's
yeah, the transmission. Now we have it built up a little bit, so we just with racing our Nova, we haven't had a chance that we'd want to be putting another transmission in this one, so we haven't ran it. We've enjoyed it for cruising, hanging out, driving around. Like, we're kind of enjoying that.
Tell me a little bit about what we got here.
This is Bernice. It's my 75 Dodge W100 Power Wagon. It's got a 383 in it. I bought her because, well, first of all, she was pretty and she was born the same year I was. Yeah.
Now, what class do you race in, or who do you race with, I should say?
I race with the 400, also known as the V8 class.
Okay. And I see Northwest Mud Racers Association.
Yes.
Okay. And also I see there's a logo on the side there. Rockstar Wheelers. Tell me a little bit about them.
Well, I'm the creator and president. I have had a rough past, so when I decided to start mud racing and off-roading again, I decided to start an off-road club. So we do charity events for the community. So Rockstar Wheelers is not just an off-road group, but we have fun and we help our community at the same time. So we've done an average of 9 events a year, and all the money and donations go to our community for a nonprofit. When COVID kicked in, we do 2 a year.
Okay. All right. And Mom Mutter?
So when I started Rockstar Wheelers, I got 60 children, we'll say. They're all pretty much from 20 and under, 25 and under. They all call me Ma. And so when I started taking the truck to car shows, because I'm part of a Mopar team, they're like, oh, you're dragging something because of the flap in the front. So I'm like, no, it's a mud truck. So I just merged Ma Mutter and to clarify to everybody what it's really supposed to be.
Now, do you have some sponsors?
I do. Every year Rockstar Wheelers gets a sponsor, or multiple. My number one and forever sponsor will be Boardwell Concrete. He unfortunately has passed on. January of 2020, he had an accident during one of our huge off-road events, and so he will forever be our sponsor. I also have Don from D&J Automotive. I have Jeff from Castle Motors. So every year we just kind of wander through. And then I have a new one. It's called My Car, and they're a collision center in downtown Spokane. But I'm a Leadfoot.
Yeah, I was going to say, you wouldn't also happen to be kind of a tomboy type, would you?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe?
Yeah, I pulled my first transmission with my mom when I was 7.
So how would you say you hot rod?
I hot rod dirty.
Yeah.
Flat out, whether I'm in my Jeep or I'm hot rodding in my mud truck. If it's dirty, I'm loving it.
Awesome. All right, anything else you'd like to add, Ann?
Nope, just girls can do it just as fun and crazy as boys can.
All righty. Well, thank you again for your time today, and look forward to seeing this out sometime. Now that we get some water on, some rain coming and everything.
Yes, I can't wait. I'm excited because I'm tired of it sitting.
All right. All right, Larry, thanks for coming out today with your truck.
Thank you.
Now, what do we have here?
So what we've got here is a 454.
Okay.
With some aluminum 312 heads. We've updated the cam to 629 now.
All right.
And I've got 26-degree dome chamber pistons. So we boosted the horsepower up to about 700 horsepower now with the 250 shot of NOS.
Wow. Now, since we're talking about horsepower modifications, what classification is this truck?
So because of the NOS, they run me in open class almost in all classes. Now, if I take my NOS bottle out, I can run clear down to 600 class.
Okay.
Tire size is the big issue here. As long as I'm running 35s or smaller, street tires, that means DOT regulated tires with no cuts,
okay,
no paddles. I can run just about any class, you know, 600, 700, either one of those. With the setup the way it is, just without the NOS, I still can run 700. As long as I don't use the NOS. But the minute I get into using the NOS, that's open. Anything goes. So.
All right. Well, Larry, I appreciate you coming out today with the mud truck.
Nice meeting you, Randy.
Thank you very much.
And I appreciate you having me.
All right. Thanks for watching this episode of How Do You Hot Rod. Stay tuned for another one coming soon.